Hello and welcome to Todd Rolls Dice, where we have a pretty big Sunday preview, certainly for Warhammer 40,000, quite a bit for Black Library as well. So this is Sunday the 3rd of August, which means everything shown in here, unless otherwise stated, will be going up for pre-order on Saturday the 9th of August and releasing Saturday the 23rd of August. So how about we just run straight through this one and then we'll talk about the weirdness of some of the things here. So, Codex Leagues of Votann. 40k has quite a lot of things to come. The last few codexes, I think it's Votann and hopefully Drukhari and Imperial Knights coming soon. Imperial Knights could come at any time. Drukhari we haven't seen or heard anything of. Doesn't mean it isn't coming, but I think that that's going to be revealed hopefully pretty soon, and then we can round out this second year as we build into the final year of 10th edition. We have all the codexes, everybody has a year of all of their army rolls and they can actually use the new stuff. Fingers crossed. But Leagues of Votann is coming. No fancy army box that I can tell. We do have the standard edition and limited edition Leagues of Votann codexes. I'm not that keen of the artwork on the collector's edition, to be honest. I quite like the standard edition. It's a 144 page Votann codex. It has 21 data sheets with 5 detachments feeding into a brand new army roll, prioritized efficiency. So we're going to get previews for this. I'm not going to go into too much of it, so we'll talk about that as and when we get the previews next week. Also, the new Combat Patrol, which we've seen. Going up with the Codex, we have Bernie Agneson, who's the really cool part digested new Votann character who has spent his life battling Tyranids. He's the last of his kind, and he likes to get eaten by Tyranids and kill them from the inside, apparently. Really cool model, very individual, has some really cool little features, and I think he'd be a fun paint project. I do like this. I think the model was great. We have the Arcanist Evaluator, which is the Doc Brown style guy with the microwave gun. Just mad quirkiness. It's such a characterful model, so it's nice to see this coming. The Memnir Strategist as well. This was one of their what are they called? Cog boys, I'm going to call them. The Votann robots. And their new Master Strategist. So he's coming as well. So it looks like we're getting pretty much all of the new Votann stuff. The Chthonian Earthshakers, the really cool little mortar style drill gun. Again, just really fun little characterful things. Each box contains 2 Earthshakers, and then you get a mix of crew, and you also get your little drill ammo counters as well, which is fun. I really like these models. This new Votann stuff I think has really hit the mark for me. The Ironkin Steeljacks, these were my favourite of the Votann reveal. I just think that they're pretty cool. The weapons are cool. I like the sci-fi nature of them. And they're just slightly bigger robots. It says they have a 2-up save. So they're Votann Terminators, basically. They can also grant themselves precision. Interesting. Hopefully we get a little preview on all these new units and what they actually do, because I'm very interested to know. I like these. It looks like it's a box of 3, but you can build them with rifles or with bolters and close combat weapons. They're basically Terminators, aren't they? And then we have the Capricus, I'm going to go with, which is the new hover buggy. I don't understand this one. I quite like it. You've got a couple of different gun options and also crew options, so you can have them with the Jaegers, like the scout unit, which is just fun. There's so many different options on these. It's just an odd model, isn't it? I'm not entirely sold on the design, but it does fit with the smaller vehicle aesthetic with their hover bikes and then this, and then the wheeled buggy, which this is kind of the same idea of, but probably less armoured, slightly quicker maybe. Not entirely sure where it's going to fit into the Votann range, but it definitely fits with their aesthetic for their scout stuff. And then the new Combat Patrol, which I think is actually really good. It looks like it isn't the Kill Team salvages though, it's just the standard Hearthkin warriors. But you also get the Einhir Champion, 5 Einhir Hearthguard, and 3 Brokir Thunderkin, that's the guys at the back, the like the aliens mech suit with big weapons kind of guys. Honestly, this is a very nice looking Combat Patrol. Value wise, points wise, I don't really know, but just as an aesthetic and the kind of Votann models that I would build into, this pretty much hits the spot. And because the Einhir Champion is a repeatable character, you can have up to 3 of them in your army, and these, I believe you can take the Thunderkin in units of 6 and the Hearthguard, sorry, in units of 10 each. You can, and I think that these are probably units of 20. The Hernkin. You can double up on this combat patrol to save a little bit more money if you wanted to go down that route. The only downside of this combat patrol is Votann players probably already have all of this, which is great if they want to play combat patrol, but there's not really much reason to buy it if you already have this stuff. But on the whole, I think it's pretty good. Leagues of Votann data cards will surprise no one, and the dice don't look that bad. It's not a colour that I would go with, but they definitely look easy to read. And you've got your Votann symbol there with the teal marbling that's going on with the background. It's not terrible. Vulkan Hestan is emerging from wherever he's been hiding. So he's equipped with a bolt pistol and the Gauntlet of the Forge and the Spear of Vulkan. So he has all the things going on. He can be attached, I like that they're telling us what he can be attached to. He can be attached to Assault Intercessors, Company Heroes, Infernus Squads and Tactical Squads. Interesting. Maybe that's a little bit of a nod to us getting new tactical squads down the line. So you'd probably run in with Company Heroes, maybe Infernus Squads, it depends what his rules are, but I'm expecting on top of some Votann previews, we will get some Vulkan Hestan previews as well. Combat Patrol Salamanders is coming. Yeah, it's just not that exciting, is it? You get 10 Infernus Marines, you get 5 Assault Intercessors, you get the, I think he's a named character, is it Adrax? Adrax, Agatone, and you get some Eradicators. So the Eradicators and like all the troops here you can have more of. But it is a named HQ in here. I'm going to ignore the Mario Kart because it's just gross. It's not a great combat patrol. It's not terrible. It probably builds into how you want to run Salamanders. But contents-wise, I don't think it's great. Interestingly enough, Salamanders dice set. Now they're yellow, not orange or green, with a black dragon on, but the dragon emblem, they have such a cool emblem. Yeah, they're not the worst dice. They're not the best, but they're not the worst. I quite like the individual packaging for them as well. It's a nicer box than they are dice, but still, I think this is fun. But the rules for these guys, so Vulkan Hestan already has rules in Codex Space Marines, all of these units are in Codex Space Marines as well, so no data cards for the Salamanders, that's fine. But that's it. For Space Marines, we're not getting any of the other new characters, so maybe they're delayed by a week, maybe they'll be coming up later on, or they're going to be spreading them out and dropping them over a series of weeks because they each have their own character and their own combat patrol. Who knows? I thought we'd be getting all the combat patrols and the characters in the same week. It's obviously not the case. World Eaters are finally getting their new model that is probably 4 months since it released in its big box. The Slaughterbound is coming. And the Death Guard Lord of Poxes is coming as well. And kicking off from next weekend is the commemorative series Captain Centos. He's a Warhammer store exclusive. We've talked about him at length. So if you do want him, pop into your stores sooner rather than later. Now we're jumping over to the old world. Kingdom of Bretonnia made to order. So these products, as with all made to orders, have their own release window and they can take up to 180 days to arrive. But they go up for pre-order on the 9th of August at 10 AM local time and are available to order until 8 AM BST, so British Standard, on the 18th of August. So just a week to order these if you want. But you've got Peasant Bowman Command, Men-at-Arms with Spears, Men-at-Arms with Spears Command, and you've got your Men-at-Arms with Halberds and Halberds Command. So quite a selection of the old metal models, just to pad out your army a little bit more if you want. And as I say, these are on that pre-order window, so they're slightly different to the other products here, and it can take up to 180 days for them to arrive. Over onto the Black Library, something very fancy. This is the Lords of Silence by Chris Raitt, and it is an illustrated and a noted edition. So I have one of these for the Eisenhorn, I think it's Malleus that I have, and they're done really nicely. If you're a fan of this book, if you're a fan of Death Guard, this might be a book that you want to pick up. So this is hardback, it's illustrated and annotated, very limited edition. It's probably going to sell out pretty quickly, but it contains new illustrations, author commentary, and an afterword from the author. So, Death Guard fans and fans of the Lords of Silence book, this might be one that you want to pick up. I don't think they're too badly priced either. The Eisenhorn one that I picked up was around £25, so it's not like the usual limited edition £50 book. Might be worth picking up if you're interested. The High Carl's Oath is coming in paperback in English, French and German. This one's by Gav Thorpe. This is the first and currently only Leagues of Votann novel. So if you want to pick that one up, you can. It looks like it's coming in French and German in ebook as well, which is good. Final Deployment by R.S. Wilt, an Astra Militarum novel coming paperback, ebook and MP3 audiobook. Focuses on the Scions of 1st Eradicant Squad. I'm not sure if this is a new Scions novel or if this is an old novel that's finally being released in paperback. But Scions fans, Imperial Guard fans, I don't know if this Astra Militarum novel is a series, then they just drop loads of different regiments and things, but if you're interested in the Scions and the Astra Militarum, it might be worth a read. Death Welder is coming in paperback and ebook in French. This one's by Victoria Hayward. I've heard good things about that one actually. Licensing things. Officially licensed Tomy Necron Scarab plushie. Yeah, it's definitely a Necron Scarab plushie. It's kind of cute though. Now over to Warhammer TV Plus. The final episode of Kill Lupercal arrives weeks after the Horus Heresy 3.0 release and probably a month, maybe 2 months after episode 2. I don't understand the timing of how they drop these, it just seems ridiculous. But the final episode is finally coming. I quite enjoyed it. They're not that long, they're only about 15 minutes each episode, but I have enjoyed them, so I'm looking forward to seeing the end of this. And then we have Questing Knights, which is continuing on with their classic Warhammer Quest campaign. I would like to pick up on that one, because I bet that's actually quite fun. Deep Strike has Alex speaking to the team from Bulwark about their smash hit and unexpectedly funny video game Mechanicus, with Mechanicus 2 coming next year I believe as well, so that might be an interesting one if you're a fan of the Mechanicus games. And finally over on the painting desk, Kieran from the Heavy Metal team introduces his stunning old world collection of Bretonnians. Finally, over on WarCom, exciting news for Leagues of Votann players as they explore the new releases, and even better for me, there is some treats for fans of the Middle-earth strategy battle game. Treats, I like treats. So I've sort of been putting it off a little bit, but I want to do a video about the state of Middle-earth strategy battle game again. I did a review of the range a month, 2 months ago. I'm going hot and cold on it at the minute, because everything is there for me to start putting my army together. I'm just not that happy with the miniatures to put that army together with. It needs quite a bit of love, it needs some refreshes. Hopefully this is going to be not just a unit, but a couple of units that need refreshing, maybe some new heroes that are currently metal and or resin that are going to be releasing in glorious plastic with new sculpts. I hope we get a new King Elisar. That is the one model that I need updated. Not for my army, but just for my own personal collection. Aragorn's my favourite character through the entire Lord of the Rings series. And King Elisar is him at endgame badass level, and his model should really show that off. And I don't think the current Finecast model really does anymore. So that's what I'm hoping for, but we will of course be covering the Leagues of Votann stuff because I'm interested in that anyway, and Middle-earth Strategy Battle Game will be as soon as it goes live. Hopefully I'll be able to bring that to you guys. We always have fun talking about Middle-earth Strategy Battle Game, so that's exciting. That might even be my pick of the week if I could pick a pending article. The other thing that I will say that's coming this week, they don't mention it here, they mentioned it on Friday, the Horus Heresy 3.0 Legacies of the Age of Darkness PDF. It should have been here last week. They very slyly put an article out saying that it had been delayed on the Friday and that it should be coming next week. So, Monday, we should be getting it. If they're actually on it, but it's probably going to be looking like Wednesday, Thursday, potentially even Friday at the end of the week. But as soon as that drops, I will cover it as well. We may have a run through it, although I am falling out of love with the Horus Heresy 3.0 stuff. I'm just kind of bored and worn out by it. It's not been very good, it's not been well received. The game set and the rules might be fantastic, but there's just so much negative energy about it that Games Workshop have brought on themselves. So we'll cover it, and then once it's done, I will probably draw a line under the Horus Heresy for a little while. But we'll see. That should be coming. Although they're not saying it here, that should be coming as well. And if it isn't, I will be very vocal again with my disappointment. And I will be making it felt a little bit harder than I already have been. Because Horus Heresy players, you should have had that Legacies PDF at launch of the new edition. And if it isn't out next week, then that's, what, 3 weeks since the game launched that you've just been waiting? It's not good enough. Maybe 2 weeks. But either way, it's still not good enough. So I will back you guys on that one, if it needs to happen. But hopefully it will drop sooner rather than later. Generally, I think it's a pretty strong week. I am surprised that we're getting part of the Space Marines, sort of new refreshed characters with the Vulkan Hestan, but nobody else. But still, I think it's a stunning model, and it is a character that definitely needed a bit of a glow up. The old model, I know it's fine cast, but it was pretty nice. But still, it's nice to see that they're starting to drop this stuff. I think pick of the preview for me has to be the Steeljacks, just because they look, I don't know what it is, they just work for me. As a fan of Chappie and that kind of weird robot running around vibe, this just sings to an element of sci-fi that I love. 2-up saves sounds a little bit strong, I will say. I think that might be too much for them, but we'll see. Hopefully we get a little bit more about these guys and the Votann in general with these previews. Better previews would be nice, because the AOS stuff felt a bit rushed, and the Black Templars and Grey Knights was definitely rushed. We got very little information from them. I would like a little bit more, and I would like their overall for WarCom to just be better at communicating. I've said that before, and I will probably say it again down the line, but hopefully it's a good week, and hopefully the stories and the reveals are pretty good. WarCom is in need of a win at the minute, I think. But we'll definitely be covering what we can. This week on the channel, I have quite a few things planned. I'm hoping to do some more with Arjak Rockfist. I've got that build video to edit, and we'll throw that out and see what you guys think. I'd like to do a little bit more with Space Wolves. Obviously, we're going to be covering the reveals from WarCom, and I may even get that Middle-earth video put together and done once we've seen what's coming and we have an idea of what's coming in the future. Maybe I'll have a Middle-earth week. I also want to get some painting done, so I may not be as on it with videos. My voice is still pretty bad. So we'll see. It might be a quiet August, but then August is usually pretty quiet anyway, isn't it? But let me know what stands out for you this preview, and if you'll be picking up any of these products that are going up for pre-order. As always, thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you all in the next one.